Well, the song is back. It's 1-0 to the Distillery. We're not vintage, we're not fantastic to watch, but we are starting to look like title contenders. The league is so much weaker without a Ballymena this year, and at the moment we're taking advantage because we are top of the league, only just, but now we get to test ourselves against top sides, one of the title contenders at home, and of course, a big game in the cup. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 29 of Lifting Spirits with me, Daniel. As we mentioned, we are now at the top of the table, but it is still pretty close. The top half and 7th place separated by 6 points. And today we face one of those title contenders in Portadown, relegated via the playoff last year, but how will they get on? We'll find out that, as well as testing ourselves against top tier opposition in Crusaders, perhaps preparation for next season if all goes well. And you can see the top scorer in the middle of the screen. The man has changed the save and he is going to lead us to promotion. I'm confident of that. So if you're looking forward to all of that, and of course, as you can see from the top right, the return of 1-0 to the Distillery, then please do put a thumbs up on it. I hope you're looking forward to the rest of the season. I'm starting to get that real good feeling about it, like I did in season 2 when we got promoted from the 3rd tier. The finances are suffering though, so this cup game's important. But as we go and head into it, let's see how we've been getting on, because it has been a little bit of a weird spell. We've been getting results, but we've not been wholly convincing. So after you were with me for the Carrick game, we drew 1-1 with Lothal. That was in an away game against a side who were bottom at the time. Convy sparing our blushes after we fell behind. Against Bangor, we won by 4-2 in a really bizarre game. We were 3-0 up in 8 minutes. It was 4-1 after 11. And then the game went quiet. They got one back just before the break. Then Sebastian Beck got sent off. The appeal was won for that challenge, so it shouldn't have been a red card. But we just went cautious and sort of saw the second half out. I guess it was sort of the return of 1-0 to the Distillery, albeit it was already 4-2 and it was half time. But we did back it up with back-to-back 1-0 wins, as we're just starting to find last year's form. Against Institute, Kofi Orphan with the header to win it. And against Ards, James Convey with the early goal. So 2 games without a goal for Leon Boyd. It's basically crisis time for him. With Convey picking up a knock, with 3 games a week now, including the cup, we are going to have to rotate a little bit. I am tempted to go for the first team in this one because I look at the League Cup, I look at the rules of it, and I start to think we need to bring some money in. So let's keep winning these rounds. Let's see how we get on. And fingers crossed as we go along, we can pick up £2,000, £3,000, £4,000 each time and start to push towards the end. Because as we are at the moment, we're only 3 rounds from the final, potentially. So that's where we are on the pitch. Off it, things are looking okay by the finances. But we have been getting some contractual stuff sorted. Because of the situation we found ourselves in with Dylan McLean, where he won't sign a new deal and he's going to go in January. So frustrating because he's really improving. But what I've done is I've future-proofed us with all of our summer players. So the stars of this team are tied down for 2 years now. Orkin, Levingston, Boyd and McGill, and they've all got an optional 1-year extension as well. So potentially, we've got them here for 3 more seasons. We tried to do the same with Convey, but unfortunately he turned it down. So did Neil Graham, the backup keeper, but they were sort of backup ones more than the first teamers. And the other option, to be honest, was Dylan McLean, but he won't sign a deal now. So that's where we are. I'm really starting to think about the longer term here. And with Leon Boyd now, if we could get, say, 12 grand and a sell-on clause, we can really start to look upwards. Linked with West Ham in real life, incidentally. So someone's been watching this save. Let's go and get through to the fixtures though, because Crusaders is a massive game. But it is opening up a little bit, this draw. You've got to say, there's a few ties where you'd think maybe we could beat the winner. And against those bottom sides in the top tier, I do now sort of fancy us if we get a home draw. We're going to test ourselves against Crusaders though. They are not normally one of the bottom teams. They are this season though. They're in 10th place at the moment, had a really poor start, 7 points from 8 games. And if we have a look at where they are in terms of players, they've got a few decent ones about, but they've not really changed up the squad much. So a lot of those players they had at the start are getting older. You look at Johnny McMurray now, he's past 30 years of age. Chris Curran's in, he's 34 years of age now. So it is an ageing squad in key areas. But for us, you'd still argue it's a step up. So if we can compete at this level, if our first team can show how good they are, it might well be a really good night for us. We've got 4 days till the next game, so we've not got to worry quite as much. I just want to see if anyone's not quite fit, because Convey, as we mentioned, has had his little knock. So I'm going to bring on Ruhi for him. Jenkins will then come onto the bench. To be honest, I'm quite tempted to start him so I don't have to change roles. And in fact, I am going to do that. And then at centre-half, Orkin struggling a little bit. McDowell maybe in for him, but he's one of our best performers. I'd probably rather do that at the weekend. So this is the 11 that we're going to go for today. It's Connor Mitchell between the sticks. We've got McGill and McLean the fullbacks with Reed and Orkin as centre-half. Levingston and Beck the midfield 2. Johnston and Latif are the wingers. And then Jenkins behind Boyd up front. One of the things we're going to look at in the next few weeks, we have used most of our wage budget now, tying down those other lads long term. We're going to try and get Latif in January because his deal ends in the 27th of December and he's out of contract at the end of that month. And the same for Oren Crow on the bench, who not played a lot from the start, but been a really good contributor whenever he's come on. So let's go and get into it. The first of today's doubleheader. It's a big cup game, it's top tier opposition, and this is where we can really show how good we are. And potentially we're being helped a little bit by our visitors as well. 5 changes for them, albeit some of them are very strong ones. Josh Robinson, a very good centre-half, used to play for Linfield. He's skipper in the side tonight. Shane McKellany alongside him's good. There's some decent players in there. And the bench is still strong as well. So it's definitely not going to be easy, but we are one of the top teams in the Championship against currently one of the worst teams in the Premiership. And if we can show that we can make that step up, if we can compete like we did against Carrick Rangers, especially in front of a home crowd with lots of away fans in, it will give us some really positive encouragement for the future. It's great to get a crowd in too. I know the away fans are contributing, but over 1,000 in, that's definitely going to help the bank balance. Let's go and get through to the first half as with 10 gone, it's very quiet. And Pike picks the ball up on the left-hand side. Good challenge from Orkin. O'Neill goes back. Collier's got a chance to shoot. Chips over to Pike on the left side of the box. Will he get the cross in? I'm sure he'll have time. Cuts inside himself. It's brilliant work. Lusty turns 2 and shoots. And that is a very different level to what we can cope with. You don't see teams playing football like that in our league fixtures. They're 1-0 up. They've been dominant. I'm going to drop to cautious and try and contain because I know it was their first shot on target, but they've been the better side and they look really threatening. So we're back with 22 minutes gone and it's returned just as a highlight is ending there. So I don't really know what happened. Can we get a replay of that? Because, let me just get this up. It came back just as he was walking towards the referee. Oh, that is a horrible 2-footed challenge. I've no idea why he didn't show that bit the first time round. But that is an absolutely atrocious bit of work. And the referee has no choice but to send him off. Now we're up against 10. We've got a chance to get on the front foot. We'll go back to balanced. We'll try and get on the front foot offensively and maybe try and be a little bit further up the pitch as Robinson plays wide to Greer. Chance to carry it forward here. Johnston nicks it off him. Down the left he goes. He's got support from Jenkins and Boyd in the box. Boyd makes the run. He can't quite get there. Cleared as far as Johnston to Beck. Back to Johnston again. Shots just over the bar. We look threatening already, and this is going to be the game-changing moment. We had it last year in one of the cup ties, we've got it again, but can we make it count? We're 1-0 down, and we need to get back into this. And with 5 minutes to the break, here we are on the attack down the left-hand side. McLean finds Beck into Jordan Jenkins. Oh, I was about to say he never scores, and he still hasn't. Hits the woodwork. Another flying tackle from Crusaders. Latifa puts the cross into Johnston, and is saved into the side netting, and is out for a corner kick. It's been a really good response to the red card. Now we look the better side. There you go. If we get promoted and play against 10 every week, we'll be all right. As McLean loses out in the air, it's cleared as far as Jenkins. Orkin brings it down to McGill. Can we find that cutting edge? We're being forced backwards. Latifa again to Orkin. Chips wide towards Johnston. The defender should get there. And it's cleared as far as McLean. 3 in the middle if he can cross though. McLean delivers. Jenkins up. And he's missed again. It's over the bar. That boy can do everything bar score. The rest of his game's all right. He's just not got the finishing touch. Long kick downfield, which Orkin heads away. Beck back to Reed. We're now in full control of this match. Orkin holds it up. Finds McGill on the right-hand side. Has support from Latifa ahead of him. Who's making a third man run though? No one. Latifa's forced inside. Big switch to Johnston. That's worked a few times this half. Johnston goes alone and he scores. Brilliant finish. He was sick of crossing it for Jenkins to miss, so he cut inside, he did the work himself. And on the stroke of half time, it's 1-1. This is now a great chance for us to get the win and get through to the quarterfinals. We're level on the stats in terms of shots on target, of course crucially on the score sheet too, but we have had everything since the red card for Crusaders as Reed goes wide to Johnston. McLean holds the ball up on the left hand side to Beck. Back to Johnston again. What a game he's had. Jenkins finds Boyd to Levingston. 25 yards out. Looked like he was going to shoot, but instead laid off for Latifa. It's a glorious finish into the far corner. And with 2 minutes of stoppage time up, we are going to be 2-1 up at half time. It is a fantastic turnaround. And yes, there are a lot of circumstances in our favour, but we forced a red card. We've dominated since, and we are thoroughly good value for our lead, as it's a long ball forward which McGill intercepts. Crusaders doing nothing but going direct now. You've got to question their tactical approach since going 2-1 behind, or even since going down to 10 men, as Beck picks the ball up again. Can we get a second goal in first half stoppage time? As Johnston comes down the left, big switch of play towards Latifa, cleared away to O'Neill, and now it's a 3-on-3 momentarily. Thankfully we get our fullbacks back very quickly. And Laughlin is intercepted by Latifa. Running down the right. The left back's out of position. He's gone all the way himself. 3 in support. Lays off to Jenkins. Oh, you know it's your night when Jordan Jenkins scores. He's on his knees. He's very happy. Jordan Jenkins never scores. Half time, 3-1 Distillery. That was stunning in the last 5 minutes. 42 minutes gone, we're 1-0 down. And at half time, we're 3-1 up. I'm very happy. We're doing really well. And against 10 men, if we keep things sensible, we might even be able to rest players for the weekend. Well, I'll show you the stats in a minute as we're back just before the hour mark. We are purring now as the ball's in towards Boyd. Little worried he hasn't scored for a while, so I hope he can nick one later on as McLean rattles the woodwork from 25 yards. It's cleared as far as Daniel McGill. On the right-hand side, the skipper finds Levingston. Back to Orkin, who goes over to Latifa. Just nudged out. Was that a corner? No, goal kick given. But look at those. 19 shots, 9 on target against 5 and 3. And they haven't had any since they went down to 10. Let's go and make a couple of changes. McLean and Orkin were struggling. So I'm going to bring on Edgar at left back. And I'm going to bring on McDowell as centre half. Anything else we can do in midfield? Beck and Levingston both need a rest. So Crow on for Levingston. Latifa on the right can have a break as well. Grease Grego Cox on for him. We'll save the last sub in case of injury or anything else. But at the moment, I just want to keep it going because we've been brilliant. As it's a throw on the left-hand side for Greer. Finds Collier. Back to Greer again. Great cross into the back post. Reed heads away as far as Steele. He goes for the shot from distance. It was a speculative effort, but he got the technique right. Just a little too high. Had the keeper worried though. And we're going to think about who our last change will be. Johnston and Reed on a yellow. Few others a little bit tired, but no real disasters at the moment. Scott plays through to Kinsella though. We might be worrying about the scoreline in a second. McDowell off the line, it's stunning defending. And Edgar can bring the ball away. Just a little bit of sign of complacency there. So we're going to drop to cautious. We're going to praise the lads because they're playing really well. There's a few deflated players in there for some reason. And then the final sub. I think it's got to be Johnston on the left because he's such an important player when he's played like tonight. But then equally, I haven't really got a sub for him. So I think we're going to go for KLM Reed. Haven't really got a sub centre half. So what on earth do I do here? Jenkins has been all right. I'm going to bring Ruhi on. We'll take Leon Boyd off. Jenkins through the middle. Ruhi, advanced playmaker on support or even on attack. Just change the roles up a bit. 15 minutes to go. It's a fabulous result. But can we hold on for it? That's the key question. Because Crusaders are throwing everything at us now. They've gone 3 at the back, loads forward. But that means on the counter, we can do this. Grego Cox down the right. Through ball towards Jenkins. Didn't quite have the right path on it. And he was already making a different run. As Ray will clear long downfield for the visitors. Over the top towards Kinsella. McDowell does well in the air. McMurray brings it down though. Back to Scott. He carries the ball forward. Our midfield virtually non-existent there. Goes for a placed finish, which was quite clever in the end, but Mitchell able to deal with it. 10 minutes remaining. Scott holds the ball up. Grego Cox nicks it off him for Jenkins. Playing up front again, probably for the first time since last season, as Johnston gets in. Across to Jenkins. It's a fabulous save. I think it might have come off the defender, but it's out for a corner kick. Can we get the 4th just to seal the victory? Johnston with the corner to find out. To the back post towards Edgar. Headed away. Kinsella will chase, but Rui gets there first. Really good footwork from him. Cuts back. Sensible play to McGill. And it just peters out, but we're back almost instantly with another highlight. Corner kick in, McDowell heads wide. It's all Distillery again. That Crusaders push has gone. And I think we're going to win. Cliftonville winning, Glentoran and Linfield the same. There's no shocks elsewhere. But based on this, I want to say we're maybe ready for the top tier. But if you take away the spell where it was 11v11, probably not, because then we were getting outplayed. As that's in for 3-2. And suddenly, it's getting a little bit tense here. 2 minutes of stoppage time to go. Josh Robinson, the skipper, scores for Crusaders. And although we've had 25 shots, although we've been the better side, it was largely against 10 men, and we still had worries at the back. So let's go and get through the dressing room. We're pleased, we're through. It's all that matters in cup football. But defensively, we probably need to be better against Portadown. Back in a minute to find out if we are. And there we go. The fitness is good, so it hasn't changed much. We've got Convey back in at number 10, despite Jenkins' good performance in the week. And Chambers is in centre midfield because Beck is away on international duty. Looking at the bench then, it's fairly strong. Jenkins and Ruhi both there. But otherwise, the other 9 played in a week. They were brilliant against top-tier opposition. And everyone's looking fresh because we got to rest most of the tired ones for half an hour as well. So let's go and submit the team. Into the big game we go. For all of the excitement we've produced in the Cup, getting promoted is the number 1 target. And a win in this game would go a long way to helping secure that. Well, I've got to say, this Portadown team is not bad at all, is it? You've got Declan Dunn in goal. You've got David Parkhouse through the middle. Quality player affected by injuries over the years. Stephen Mallon's a good player, creative too. There are some real sparks in this side. So let's go and get through the dressing room. I want to pick up where you left off. You were brilliant last time. Deliver it again. Boyd motivated. 3 without a goal. I'm worried about him. Let's get through the preview. End that today. Back to a normal crowd at the Distillery. About 200 through the gate. So let's see if we can put on a show for them. I don't want to speak too soon with 21 minutes gone. We're back for our first highlight with James Convey. But I am slightly getting 1-0 to the Distillery vibes from this game. It's been very quiet again. There's not been much quality in it. There's been no attacking threat really from either side. Is it one that we're going to nick on a set piece? A free kick? That one almost went in. Or maybe from a corner kick as well. Convey and Orkin, the best players on the pitch. But Portadown trying to do something about it on the front foot. Connaughty picks it up on the right to Low. Big ball to the back post. Orkin away. McGill caught out of position, but the second one's cleared long. And McKeown heads clear. Levingston down for Boyd. That's really good centre forward play. Just lays it off wide to Latifa and then charges towards the box. Latifa going to the byline. No one can catch him. Gets the cross in. McNally heads away. Latifa wins the second one though to Convey. Has support. Goes alone though. Brilliant turn and shot. James Convey back in a team. And I tell you what, the week's rest did him wonders, didn't it? Lovely touch, lovely turn, beat a man, and then got his shot in. Into the top corner it goes, rifled into the roof of the net, and it is 1-0 to the Distillery. Are we going to make it 3 in a row in the league? Because that's when I know that the promotion contenders are looking good. As Convey picks it up again to Leon Boyd. We're playing some really nice stuff now as well. Look at the way the team moves, the quality in there. As Johnston flicks down, that one's just over hit. And now Parkhouse can counter. Portadown got a 3-on-3. They've actually got 5 up now. As Mallon gets down the left to the byline. Chance to cross to the back post. Mashi goes unmarked. And there goes 1-0 to the Distillery. It looked threatening from the moment the counter started. And a nice touch as well, that we lost the ball just as I was saying how good we looked. 5 to half time, 1-1 here. It's 2 title contenders that look very, very strong. Latifa's picked up an injury. He'll have to go at half time. We'll bring Grego Cox on for him. We'll tell the lads to keep working hard. This isn't a disaster, but I'd love to nick it. Grego Cox on, Latifa off. Let's hope that injury isn't too bad. As here we are on the left-hand side with Dylan McLean. Just the second minute of the half. McLean chips it forward towards Convey again. Boyd's in the middle, but he can't find him. The cross is deflected straight through to Dunn. Easy work for the Portadown keeper, and he clears it long downfield. Mallon loses out to McGill in the air, though. Grego Cox a little slow, not up to the pace of the game yet, and Mashigo able to bring downfield. Carries it over halfway. Chambers does well with it, but they keep the ball with Connaughty. Back to McNally and start again. Big ball over the top to Parkhouse. We can't handle him. On the right-hand side, back to Connaughty. 4 in the middle. Mellon's one of them, and it's gone through Mitchell. It's 2-1 Portadown. and the defensive frailties are popping up again. They're just a very good side on the counter, and I don't think we can cope with it. So we've got a throw on the right with McGill to Levingston. Just coming up to the hour mark. Back to Convey. Shoots again. Oh, James Convey's having a worldie of a game. What a goal that is. A special goal, says the commentary. Pure inspiration indeed. Little daisy cutter into the bottom corner. Right in the side netting. Keeper has no chance. But Portadown straight on the attack again. McGill with a brilliant challenge. Leading by example. Grego Cox away. He's lost it again. Does not look up to the speed here. Connaughton on the right. Cross into Parkhouse. That's 2 goals in 15 minutes that Grego Cox has been at fault for. We are back with 25 minutes to go though. And Mitchell has the ball at the back. Finds McLean. Short out a left back. Can we get an equaliser? And this is what I mean. Looking at that banger game again. 1-0 to the Distillery a couple of times. And then a 4-2. As Boyd's in. It's 3-3. This game's carnage. How can you go from winning 1-0 every week to this? I just don't get it. It's a brilliant response. We're back on level terms. And now we will think about subs. I'm almost tempted to take Grego Cox off. What can we do in his place though? We have got Ruhi or Crow. I could bring on Crow on the right. Maybe Foster as well. But I'm going to go for Crow on the right. And I'm going to take off Johnston. Grego Cox will be an inverted winger off the left. Keelan Reid's had a poor game, so McDowell on for him. Edgar on for McLean, who's knackered at left back. And then Levingston may be struggling a bit, but for now, I'm just going to leave it like this. 4 changes made. It's 3-3, remarkably. Did I say earlier this game looks like 1-0 to the Distillery? I might have to edit that out. Erase it from the history books. 19 points, though. We'd be 4 clear with this result. I don't think we could complain, given where we've been. The McDowell heads away. We're still chasing a winner, as Boyd finds Convey. He's lost it in the middle again. It's been a real part of our play today. Sluggish, slow, sloppy in possession. Giving away the ball in the middle of the pitch. Through ball towards Connaughton. He's in again. How is that not a penalty? Edgar brings him down from behind. It was clumsy at best. And Hawkin heads away, but the referee gives nothing. Parkhouse in. He's done it again. You've got away with one mark, Edgar, so what do? Oh, I'll fly into another one and see what happens. Absolute lunacy. Penalty kick Portadown. It's going to be 4-3. Mallon up. Down the middle he goes. This is one of the most astonishing games of football. Let's encourage the lads yet again. We're still going positive. Who do we bring on now? Chambers off. Ruhi on. We're going to put Oren Crow into midfield. We'll put Grego Cox to the right. Convey out to the left as a traditional winger, and then we'll put Ruhi as an advanced playmaker on attack. Levingston and Crow will swap as well. 10 minutes to go, chasing the game, and from 1-0 every week. It's 4-3. Portadown showing their title credentials. It is not over yet. As done goes long, Connaughton loses out to Edgar, currently the villain of the match, as Boyd goes wide to Convey on a hat-trick. Has support. What's he done there? Wins it back again. Convey into Boyd. It's 4-4. This time I'm going to learn my lesson. We're going to go back to standard, or balanced in terms of mentality. We are not going to push too far. What a game between 2 heavyweights of the division. We stay 4 points clear at the top of the table. Portadown unfortunately couldn't hold on for their sake. But that, given the context, is a very important result. Convey and Boyd to the rescue, defensively all over the place, and the Latifa injury made a massive difference. Let's go and look at the schedule for when we're next going to be back, but this ain't going to be as easy as we thought, is it? Well, with the old 1-0 to the Distillery now being a distant memory, let's have a look at when we could next be back. It's pretty hard to tell at the moment because so many teams are evenly matched. We don't yet know who our main contenders are going to be or if we're going to falter. Don't forget, at this point last season, we were in a relegation playoff place and we ended up in the top 3. So it can change very quickly. There are some positive signs defensively. We were all over the shop in that episode though. Only a couple of months till Dylan McLean leaves and some big cup ties on the horizon too. So I'm not going to pinpoint an exact date to come back. But if you did enjoy this episode, a massively entertaining 2 games, then please do put a thumbs up on it. And if you want to stay up to date and find out how it continues this season, subscribe down below and turn that notification bell on. We'll be back tomorrow with our head coach series. That one, it's been an interesting save so far, hasn't it? And then we'll be back here in a couple of days' time to try and continue our promotion push in the Irish Championship.